a -4. I'm always going to add a negative here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to combine the like terms right here. So first thing that I probably should have is an 18 when I multiply 3 times 6. And then I'm going to have 3 times the -4 is, I believe, a negative 12x minus 27x. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause, and I'm going to purposely use a different color on the other side here so that you can see that it's the opposite side. We can't start blending things together just yet. So on the other side, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring down what I have. This is a 10x minus 31. And I'm going to keep that on the right-hand side. So let me make sure I didn't make any mistakes. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 4 is 12, but it's negative. And then minus 27x. So the next thing I would recommend that you do is that you actually combine your like terms right here. I have a negative 12x, and I would consider this a negative 27x. So I'm going to add those. I'm not balancing the equation yet. I'm just going to combine these together. So if I was to click down here, hopefully I would have 18. I apologize. I'm going to color coordinate it for you here a little bit. I'm going to go with 18. That didn't work, sorry. Plus a negative 39x. Because what I've done is I've added these together, the two like terms right here. And then what I'm going to do is again, I can just bring this down, the 10x minus 31. From there is what I should probably do is I should probably start balancing the equation by moving things from one side to the other side. And I like to move the variables first. So a lot of times I'll take the smaller variable. So I'm going to do plus 39x on both sides. And if I do it to this side, I have to do it to the other side. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of options of what you can move around. I just like to move the variables first. Okay? If I have all the variables on one side, it makes it a lot easier for myself. So the 39s cancel out, and I'm going to be left with 18. And then it's going to be equal to, I believe it's 49x minus 31. And at this point, it should become second nature to us what to do. We are going to add 31 to both sides. And that's going to isolate, almost get your variable isolated. And then what I'm going to have is I'm going to have 49 is equal to 49x. Wow. All I got to do is I got to divide by 49 and get x equals 1. I don't always trust myself. So what I do is I like to go back and I like to look at everything, make sure I've multiplied, got rid of the parentheses, I combine these on the same side, and then I actually plugged it back in. And if I plugged it back into both sides, like I would say 10 times 1 is 10, minus 31 is negative 21. This other side here should be a negative 21. So hopefully that helped a little bit. Let's move into the next one. The next one is everybody's favorite, word problems. You got to find out what is the important stuff and what's some of that stuff that we might not need. Don't really care too much about my son right now. I know that's a possibility. But he was only supposed to buy one thing, and it was costing $37. So if he did what he was supposed to, it was $37. But then I found out that the bill was $191. Not at all happy with that. Then he bought 8 games. And thankfully, they were all the same price. It's going to make it easy for me to try to calculate this out. So first thing I like to do is I like to say, okay, what's my X? Hey, they want me to find out the game. How much did each game cost? So I'm going to go with the game price. It's going to be what my variable stands for. Okay, so what's going on here? He bought something, and then he bought some games. Not happy about that one. and then it was a total. So let me try to replace this with some algebra in here. He bought something. Well, he was allowed to do $37. That's what he was allowed to do. Then he bought some more. How many? 8. I don't know how much each game was, so that's going to be my 8x. But I do know that my total was $191. So I'm going to put the 191 over there to the side. And usually once you set it up, that's the hardest part. So bought plus 8 games equals 191. So the things to think about is hey, they're usually going to say how much is a game, how many people went to an event, those types of things. When you hear the word per, or if you bought several, it's going to be probably multiplication. That's going to be the standard thing. And you could switch the order on this one, still get it same. And this one should be a lot easier than the other questions. You just subtract your constant of 37. Okay. And then all you got to do is just bring your terms down on this one. So I am going to bring down my 8x, and that is going to be equal to $154. So he's responsible there, $154. Then the last step on these is divide by 8. And if I remember correctly, I think it was a little bit less than $20. I thought that each game was costing him $19.25. And you could kind of figure that out. You go, okay, 37 plus 8 times 19.25 should give you 191. Okay. Next, fractions. Okay, this fraction question right here is kind of similar to some of the other ones that we're going to do, but yet a little bit different because we're throwing in the parentheses here. I don't know what to do. I just know that there are fractions right there, and I don't really want fractions. So I'm going to like copy this question one more time. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Denominator is 4 here and here, but these guys don't have it. Oh man, what do I do? What do I do? I think these are all over 1. So, these all have a 4, and this is a 1. I want to say that the least common multiple is going to be 4. I can do it 2 ways here. One of the things I could do is even before I get to that step is I can use the distributive property because Mr. K is always talking about simplifying. Okay, I don't know if that's going to make anything better, but I'm going to try that. And let me just keep this thought about that 4 for a little bit later here. So that's one method we can do. So let's talk about that in a minute. So let me multiply everything by 1/4, and I'm going to see if the pen works out a little bit better here. So I'm going to have 1/4 x, and then I'm going to have a minus here, and then 1/4 of a 4 is just, was it 1? And then I'm just going to bring everything else down. And it is equal to 2x plus 3. So you have 2 options right here. Well, and you probably have more than that, but the 2 options you have is distribute the 1/4, or just kind of like multiply everything by 4 right off the bat. So if I multiply by 4, that is going to eliminate everything. So I'm going to use a different color on this one so it stands out a little bit right here. So I am going to multiply every single term by 4. Okay, so I'm going to go 4 times a 4th. I want to say that's 1. So I'm going to get an x. and then I'm going to go 4 times minus 1. That's going to give me a minus 4. And then I am going to do 4 times the negative 3. So if, and this is kind of a challenge for me, so be really patient with me, it's not as easy to write with the computer, is I'm doing multiplication several times. I'm doing the 4th times there, and then I'm going 4 times 1. It was a lot easier when I had the smartboard to do this on. And then 3x over 4 times 4. And I apologize, I didn't put it in the right spot, so I'm going to kind of put it over here. I'm going to put the 4 there. When I'm doing this, I know I was doing it out loud, some of these things like the 4's are just going to cancel out. And then I've got to do 2 times 4, etc. So I'm going to have x minus 4 minus 3x, and then on the other side I've got to multiply by 4. So let's see if I can get back to writing on this one, and then if it works out. Sorry about that one. So I'm going to go 4 times 2x, and then I'm going to do 4 times 3. So, and on this one, what I'm going to get is, I am going to get, I believe it is 8x plus 12. Okay, so I multiplied distributive property, and then I've gotten rid of the 4. Even though these guys didn't have denominators, technically they had a denominator of 1, I still multiplied each term. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine like terms. I would probably recommend that you do x minus 3x. And I think that's about it. And I would get a negative 2x minus 4 equals 8x plus 12. That's the combining the like terms right there. And then after that, I would go back into balancing the equation and basically move some of the terms to the other side. Like I said, I like to do the coefficients right here, these like terms. And I like to start with a smaller one. Then I just start balancing it out. I try to draw a straight line, but no, it doesn't happen. So I'm going to go negative 4 equals 10x plus 12. And then I'm going to subtract 12. On both sides. And I am going to get negative 16 equals 10x. And then I get an answer of x equals 1.6 because I divided. Now, I didn't even look at this question. I was kind of rushing, so I might have made a mistake. So I apologize if I have. If I catch it, here we'll fix it. So 1/4 x, 1/4 of 4 is 1. Then this is just the negative 3x over 4, and then the 2x plus 3. We multiplied by 4. We got rid of the fractions. We got x minus 4, and minus the 3x, and then we multiplied 4 on the other side, and we balance it out.